Who's on the Bubble, presented by Payday. And let's stick with the Texans here because their defensive end, one of the 4 big names that are still absent from camp, from their team, from the preseason action. So with more on the reports coming out this week, there was a possibility of a trade even going down. How important do you think Clowney is to this Texans defense? Let's not forget, number one, he was first rounder, number 1 guy, and he was injured his first 3 seasons, first couple of seasons, but then he was an absolute stud down the stretch.
I think when you look at Clowney, yes, J.J. Watt is one of the most disruptive guys in the league, but Clowney has been just as disruptive. I look at Aaron Donald as number 1 on that list, but you could say J.J. Watt and Clowney are 2A and 2B, really. I think Clowney, he has shown the versatility. He's not just a defensive end, and I think Romeo Crennel has done a great job moving him around. You see him on the left tackle, on the right tackle. Here he is coming up the A-gap on a twist. I think that versatility is not something that is lost on the Texans. This is the business side of it, and it's hard. I think for the guys in the locker room, they know what Clowney brings to that defense. And they know if you're J.J. Watt, man, if I've got my guy over there, you got Batman and Robin. And sometimes J.J. Watt's going to bring the double team and get the attention from the extra tight end to running back, which frees up Clowney. And sometimes Clowney's going to absorb that, which now gets J.J. Watt one-on-one. So really, the yin and the yang is with J.J. and with Clowney. I think you lose one of those guys. Yeah. You lose a little bit with the other one.
Now, some people, though, would argue that he's not even the best pass rusher on the team. Some would say that, okay,
well,
J.J., well, I'm just telling you what some people have said, right? Yeah. You look at their defensive front, it's loaded, right? If you look at McKinney and Merciless, remember Merciless had 12 sacks back in 2015.
They schemed him all over the place.
Right, when Clowney was out dealing with injuries. Right. So I'm not saying that he's not a...
They can survive without him.
They can survive without him,
so
I think.
Here's my argument to that. Let me just break it down how I really feel. Because this Jadeveon Clowney thing bothers me. Because if I'm the Texans, and I'm a Texans fan, and my team has never been to the divisional round in franchise history and has all the talent that Nate just waxed poetically about at 7 in the morning Eastern, I want you to go all in. I'm not worried about surviving without a player because of a business decision. I'm going out there, locking up my guy, figuring it out, getting everybody on deck because my sights are on taking down the Patriots. My sights are about sinking the Kansas City Chiefs battleship, not about internal money when I have the 2nd most salary cap space in the league. You're saying, some people are saying, I imagine this is what all Texans fans are thinking. Have your sights set on something a little bit bigger, not just making the playoffs, but winning a Super Bowl.
But they would have signed him already if they thought that.
Here's what's interesting about that, Kate.
But we know what his talent is. Objectively, you know what his talent is.
The players now might be looking at Bill O'Brien because he is basically the acting GM, so it's a totally different vibe and feel. For if you're a player in that locker room, to your point, hey, man, we're ready to rock and roll. Andrew Luck retires in our division. Yeah. We don't know what Jacksonville's going to be. We've got a fast track to the playoffs right here. Let's rock and roll. Clowney can be a big piece of that.
Strength.
And guess what? Our head coach has a lot of say in that right now because he's wearing multiple hats.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressures from within that locker room.
From my perspective, let's
you're fired up.
Let's go. It's Friday.
Give him a payday.
Yes.
Candy bar.
I need